Hello old friends, hello neighbors, and to those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Fernando Solis. I was asked to deliver this message to you to bring everyone up to date to what is happening with the issue dealing with the Highlander Baseball Complex and the Wedgeworth Elementary School project, and the conflict between the two that has caused an incredible amount of division in our community because of the lack of leadership by the Hacienda La Puente Unified School District, and honestly, how they're running the district into the ground. I'm going to be conducting probably about 5 or 6 of these videos. The videos are going to be talking about that particular subject about Wedgeworth, but we're also going to get into the inner workings and what we found that is going to shock you about the Hacienda La Puente Unified School District. You see, the culture over at the Hacienda La Puente Unified School District is that of deliver only the good things we do and never talk about any of the bad things that happen within the district. We all know what happens when they practice that. The bad things never get fixed, never get addressed, and the problem only becomes bigger. And that seems to be the situation over at the Hacienda La Puente Unified School District. We're lacking serious leadership with the administration there. As many of you are aware, the superintendent took an early retirement. She resigned and took an early retirement. We'll see if that actually was an early retirement or if there was another motive behind it. We'll find that out, and I'll make sure that we report that. But I want to begin by the same way that we started, which was what brought us here to the table, which is the destruction and demolishing of the Highlander Baseball Complex. What you see behind me is the proposed $52 million school for the Wedgeworth Elementary and the Wedgeworth site. I want to give you full disclosure. First of all, my nephew attends that school. He lives across the street from it. So he's one of the students. That's the school he's supposed to go to. That's his school. I also want to disclose that I am pro-education. I am not anti-education. In fact, all of my kids are educated. So I am pro-education. So finally, I want to tell you that I'm going to make sure that we break it down so that everybody understands what research we've conducted and how we frame our situation with facts. So whatever it is that we present to you, we're not grabbing it out of the sky. We have conducted over 370 hours of research. We've looked into the meetings that the board has had, going all the way back to 2005. We've also done a public information request for documents dating back to 1977 and 1978, which is when the baseball fields were proposed and the board accepted. We've done a lot of work. None of this stuff that we present to you is made up. It's not pulled from the sky. The reason why that's not to our benefit is because when it's exposed, it's going to expose and we're going to lose all credibility with you. And that is not what we're aiming to do. We're just aiming to bring those facts. We want them to surface, and we want you to understand what is happening there. Because ultimately, I'm going to reach out to you because we need your help. We don't need your help financially. We need your help. We need your support. We're going to be going through and we're going to be asking to go through a recall because we need to make some serious changes at the Hacienda La Puente Unified School District. Not my opinion. The facts will lead us in that direction. So let me start with the Wedgeworth Elementary Project, the one that is causing the Highlander baseball complex to be demolished. What they want to do is they want to build this beautiful school, which on the face of it looks really beautiful. At first, when they said they were going to build a school there, my sister, mother of my godson, who attends Wedgeworth now, was all for it. Fantastic, we're going to be getting a new school. It was only that things kind of took a turn for the worse when they told us that they were going to build that school, but it was going to be at the expense of losing all of the baseball fields, that they're going to sell that property. So I'm going to walk you through why, the reasons why, and I'm going to throw some numbers of enrollment at you so you guys can take a look at it, and then you form your own opinion. I don't want to form your opinion for you, I'm just going to give you the facts. The reason why I say it's a $52 million school is because that's what the architect said the school is going to cost. We call it for 153 true Wedgeworth students. Now, what I mean by true Wedgeworth students are area students. Students that live in that area, like my godson, who lives across the street from the school. I consider him to be an area student that is supposed to go to that school. When I lived closer to Griside and Mesa, those were the schools that I went to. Some of you can, connect the dots. I know a lot of you. I met a lot of you at Palm. I met a lot of you at Dibble. I met a lot of you at Mesa. I met a lot of you at Griside. And then we all ended up united again at Wilson. But this school, as you all know, is a school that has all portables. It's always had portables. So they are deserving of a permanent school. The question is, it's a K through 5 school, and the question is, do we need a K through 8, and do we need a 1,200 student school? $52 million for a school. I got to tell you, there's some information on the HLP movement on Facebook, which you can join us there. If you need an invite, let me know. Other schools have been constructed for about $200 a square foot less than what they're proposing this school. That's like the first red flag. But let me go into some of the other details. Wedgeworth Elementary right now is a K through 5. It's a dual immersion school. It enrolls 596 students. Out of district students that attend that school, of that 596 are 106. So 106 of those students are from out of the area. Inter-district transfers, 337 students. So those are students that also come over from, like, let's say La Puente and all the areas, as long as they're within the district. There's 337. Area students, 153. So the reality is that we're going to be investing, or they want to invest, $52 million for really 153 students. Doesn't make sense to us, but Bixby is right down the street. Bixby is 5 blocks down the street. Those of you that know that area, you know how far it is. At Bixby, they currently have 273 students enrolled there. Now, you all know Bixby is a permanent school. It does have some portables. I believe they have 4, maybe more. But they do have a permanent school there. In 1994 and 1995, that school had 630 students. So if you talk about the difference, they could probably hold about another 350 students there if necessary. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because if we're looking to address the needs, not the wants. Wants, we don't want to talk about. Needs, what the school needs. If we're talking about needs, we should be concerned with 153 area students, because those are the first priority, and it should be the first priority. Those students can easily be relocated to Bixby. Now, when you relocate, you start thinking, well, wait a minute, you're going to relocate all these students over there. I want to disclose something to you. La Sabita's been closed for a long time, and we all know about it. But Glen Elder, on the north side of the 60 freeway, that school was not closed. It had students. Those students were relocated to Cedar Lane. Cedar Lane now, some of you know it as a middle school, but Cedar Lane now is, I want to say it's a K through 8 school now, and it's a dual immersion school. And they brought some of those kids from Glen Elder over to Cedar Lane. So back to this, so we do have an option. It's not necessary to build a new school. We don't necessarily need it. We can transfer those students or relocate them, including the curriculum. Even the teachers if we wanted to, because we can do that, why not? We can relocate the needs of Wedgeworth over to Bixby and save us $52 million. Think about that for a second. We just resolved an issue to address the needs of this school, not by creating a want, a $52 million want. If we were to take, out of those $52 million, if we were to take, let's say $20 million and use it and invest it in Bixby to upgrade the whole school, upgrade it. We have a permanent structure that's there already. So the upgrade with $20 million, gosh, we could probably do some pretty nice things over there and make it a very desirable school at a fraction of the cost. And what happens? We have $30 million left over, $32 million left over. What do we do with that money? Because we still have these transfer students that are within the district that are our responsibility. But that's our second responsibility. So how about we take the remaining money of that $52 million after we invest in Bixby, and we take those monies and we invest them throughout the whole district, particularly La Puente. La Puente needs a lot of work, and those schools need to be repaired. They need upgrades. They need an array of things. But I think that $32 million would be a very, very good start. And what it'll do to these 337 students is it'll bring them back home to their own community. There's nothing worse than having to travel across town from one side of the district to the other side of the district just to go to school. That doesn't make sense. Fix their schools, give them what they need. We have the money for it. If we have $52 million to build a new school, why can we not use those monies to bring those schools up to par and make them desirable so that those kids can be proud of going to those schools and get the education that the kids at Wedgeworth are getting, which is a dual immersion program. The dual immersion program is something that they present to us and say, that's a dual immersion program, it's a dual immersion school, it's got high performance, yada, yada, yada. I keep hearing it. Listen, I think the dual immersion, dual language is important. As some of you may know, my first language was Spanish, and then I learned English. So I'm also bilingual. I'm all for two languages, and it doesn't matter what language. Some people have called me a racist, but I don't care what your second language or third language or fourth language is. It doesn't make a difference. This is economics. This is being fiscally responsible and making sure that the taxpayers are not getting the short end of the stick. Because on the face of it, as a taxpayer, I believe that this is not being fiscally responsible. But that's my opinion. You form your own opinion. Now, as far as moving those kids over, if we move the curriculum over, the dual immersion curriculum over, we solve the problem. We really do. But that's not what our board believes. In fact, the board just went through their transitional period where all of the board members move up a seat. They play musical chairs, I guess, every year. And Anthony Duarte, who is supposed to be representing La Puente, in his closing comment, made it very clear to everyone in attendance that this school was going to get built. I don't understand something from Mr. Duarte. Why is he putting the kids or the quad in the area of Wilson and Wedgeworth, why is he putting it before La Puente? And I'm asking that question because I also asked the question because the political leaders in that area, like Gil Cisneros, told us, oh, this isn't a federal matter. I can't get involved. Guess what? For those of you that know your politics and know where our funding comes from, about 8 to 10% of all public school budgets comes from the federal government. So God, does he look like an idiot or what? But anyway, he would not help us. Janice Hahn, at first would not help us. Now all of a sudden, she's throwing $1.5 million at the Little League so they can relocate. It doesn't make sense. Why in the world, if we have $1.5 million, why are we going to build another Little League complex in another location on another school site when we have the infrastructure already built there? That's just a waste of money. I don't understand it. I don't understand their thinking. However, if we want to be fiscally responsible, we have to look at these options and ask ourselves, why are these group of people not wanting to do that? Why is a new school so important? I'm going to give you a lot of information that's going to help shed a little bit of light on this. The school district right now has some serious challenges. The administration has really failed the children in many aspects, and I'm going to get into it. The administration has wasted education dollars. I call it stealing education dollars, because some of the decisions that they've been making, like those headstone or tombstone signs that they installed throughout the district to the tune of over $370,000, were unnecessary. Everybody knows there's a big sign painted on the side of the schools at every school that identifies a school. Everyone knows there's electric signs in front of the schools that light up that tell you what school it is. Everyone knows that even the original signs, think about this, the original signs that you saw as you went in the main doors at whatever school you went to, whether it was Mesa, Griside, Cedar Lane, Dibble, wherever, they were made out of metal. Those signs still exist. All of the letters are there. There's not even a letter missing on the signs that I went and inspected. So you have multiple signs, but yet these people think that a new sign was needed. That was the fourth sign for each one of those schools. Just doesn't make sense. $370,000. So you got to ask yourself, what's the motivation in it? Why are they doing this? Why do they need to spend more of that money? You don't want to hear what people tell us. Their suspicions are. And I don't even want to mention them because there's no way that we have the evidence. And if I don't have the evidence, I'm not going to bring it and I'm not going to introduce it. But what I do have evidence on, we are going to introduce. So guys, this is going to be a video one of many that are coming in the future about different subjects. Please watch them. The information will knock you off your chair. I want to thank you for your time. I look forward to getting messages from you. And most of all, if you're still in the area or you still visit the area, I have some friends that still come and visit the area. We need your support. And again, not financial support, but we need your support in getting the word out. And if you're still registered to vote in Hacienda Heights, La Puente, Volinda, City of Industry, we need your signature for the recall. You don't need to commit to it on this video, but as I show you the videos, I'm going to continue to ask you for that signature. I'm going to ask you to sign that petition, because as you get more and more information, you are going to understand why our children in Hacienda Heights, in our beloved Hacienda Heights, in the community that we all loved growing up in, and now that we're adults, we're in different communities, and everybody always says, when the subject comes up, especially at the 25-year basketball reunion, after the basketball game, everyone was talking about, including all the basketball players, what a wonderful place it was to grow up in. And those that still have ties to Hacienda Heights feel very lucky for still having that type of a community. The community values that our parents and past generations put into place as a foundation for Hacienda Heights are not going to be destroyed. It is our responsibility now to make sure that they're preserved for future generations. I don't know what the outcome is going to be in the long run, but I can promise you this. We're going to give it a really, really good fight. So if you guys can help us out, we'd really appreciate it. And I've got more videos coming up. Please watch them. Please like them. Please share them. Please spread the word. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, friends, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.